Hey guys, in the last video we set up an image picker in React Native. Now we're going to be doing the other part of that, which is handling the image on the server side. So to do this, we're going to create a product mutation that's going to allow us to create products. So I am right now in schema.graphql on the server, and we're just going to say create product. So this is going to have three fields to it: the name of the product, which is a string, the price, which is a float, and then a picture, which is some kind of data type, right? So what is the data type of a picture? We're going to talk about that in a second. And then the response type, we're going to return a product. So product, we don't have this type anywhere here, but if we were to check out our database, we know that's our type product here. And I'm assuming I'm going to have to add a commented out import statement to get that to work, because that's how they do it with post. But how are we going to handle pictures? So our server that we're using is GraphQL Yoga. So one of the features of GraphQL Yoga is that it can handle file uploads, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately on the README they don't really have a good explanation of how this works, but they do have an example buried on how to upload. So this is the code that they give, and I looked at their type defs and they add a scalar called upload. And that is the type of files. So we're going to use that. So at the top here, I'm just going to say scalar upload, and then my picture is going to be upload. Alright, so now let's add something to let's add this mutations resolver. So I'm going to create a new TypeScript file, product.typescript, and we're just going to copy what we have in post, paste it here. And I'm going to keep create draft, because this is basically what we want to do, but except creating a post. Or sorry, not a post, but a product. We'll call this product. And how they're doing importing is in index.typescript. They're doing ... product, and they're importing it. So let's do that as well. Alright, so we're going to say create product, and then for us there's going to be three things: name, price, and picture. So here we haven't gone over how to grab, so this is an error. Expected 2 arguments. If we look at utils, that's where we're using this, and it's because I just forgot to set a default of an empty string. Okay, so we haven't actually gone over how to set the header with the JWT token, and we're going to do that in a later video. So for now, we're going to hard code what the user ID is, and then we're going to come back and grab the user ID from the token. Okay, so we're not going to actually run create post, we're going to run create product. But you notice this is not a thing for some reason, and this is actually a little bit of a bug. Now I do have, you guys have seen in my prisma.graphql, or my data model, we do indeed have product. So it should create this function automatically for me. And in fact, it is created. But the type isn't there. So if we look at prisma.typescript, this is where all the typings, and by the way, this is only a problem with TypeScript if you're following along. There is no product, so there's no typing for product for whatever reason. So I looked up this issue, and it turns out you have to install, npm I, this GraphQL CLI. If you don't have this installed, it will not update the TypeScript or the typings for you. So I went ahead and installed that, and then after you do that, you have to redeploy, but you also have to make a change to our data model. So for example, I'm going to get rid of the name, and then run and see. I'll show you why. First, let me show you why we have to make a change. If you don't make a change, Prisma's like, hey, nothing has changed in your data model, I don't need to do anything. Is basically what's going to tell us. See how nothing happens? But if I get rid of name, it'll go ahead and detect we've changed something. We've changed the name, and this is what we want to happen. This thing called GraphQL prepare. That's actually what creates the TypeScript. And so I'm going to add the name back and run deploy again. So every time we deploy, it's going to update this prisma.typescript file. So now if I search this, I see the word product is actually there, and now in a product.typescript, I no longer get a problem. Alright, so now in our data file, we should be expecting a few things. I imagine, let's see, I'm guessing the seller, connect, and then the ID is user ID. I'm guessing we're going to do it in the same format, not quite sure to be honest. But name, and then the price, and then we should have something for the picture URL, right? Because we actually don't just pass a picture object, we pass a string. Oops, it's not right there. So, right, we have a string to the URL of the picture. Alright, yeah, we're going to set this to a string. So for now, I'm going to set it to an empty string, and we're going to discuss how we actually, oh, there we go, let's line this all up. There we go. Oh, this is not actually lined up. There we go. We're going to discuss how we actually get the URL for this picture. So what's passed to this is some sort of picture object. I'm not quite sure, but if we follow the logic of how this example works, they have this thing called process upload. So they pass that file, which is an upload type, to their resolver, and they call this function called process upload. So we want to process and upload too, so I'm going to copy him. And so you'll notice it stores the upload and it records it. We don't really care about recording the file, we really just want to grab the path. That's the important bit. So we're going to return path from this. We actually don't really care about the ID. So we also need this store upload. So store upload is this function right here. And they're using a library called short ID. And I actually took a look at it. Looks pretty nice. It creates a URL friendly ID, which is important because we're going to be accessing it through the path. So I thought, why not? Let's go ahead and download this as well to generate our IDs. So I'm just going to say yarn add short ID. And we'll go ahead and import him. Alright, so I have short ID. Now I should be able to generate keys. Don't know why it doesn't like it. I see it right here. So upload directory, I'm going to call mine images. So e-commerce, we're going to say images. Oh, I want to make a folder called images. And I just want to make sure, how are they? Okay, so they are ensuring the upload directory exists. So I already just created the upload directory called images, so we're good. But if you wanted to, you could install this library and make sure the outer folder exists. Okay, so next thing, they are getting this create write file. That's from this guy. And this is a node module, FS, so we don't need to do anything. So let's take a look exactly what this is doing. I'm actually not too familiar with how file uploads work, but it looks like they are awaiting upload, so this must be some kind of asynchronous file, and then they're getting this data from it, then they're passing it to store upload, and then store upload takes this stream and the file name, generating an ID. Now for us, we don't really care about the file name of the user. I'm just going to use the short ID that they gave us. And then we're going to return a promise, and here we're resolving an ID and a path. Again, I didn't care about the ID, so we're just going to return the path. Alright, so this looks pretty good, and then for the ID here, we can just get rid of an intermediate variable and generate the ID right there. Alright, this looks pretty good. So what's returned is the path, which should be /images. And what I want to just append to that, and I'm assuming that's asynchronous. This is all asynchronous. Yep. So we're gonna call that. I'm gonna say const picture URL is equal to. And actually, we can do it inside here. This is kind of an interesting way to do it. I'm gonna just hard code what this is for now. So our server's at localhost 4000. and then we're going to get the directory or the path, and that's going to be our pictures URL. Actually, for now, I'm not going to worry about this part. Let's actually just return processing the file. We'll worry about that. We could add that to the front end if we wanted to, if we need to. Alright, so await, and we're going to call process upload, and our upload is our picture. I have no idea if this will actually work, but we're following along the example pretty well, so we can try it out. So we're basically just taking our picture, whatever it is, some kind of object that GraphQL Yoga gives us. We are processing it, which really just means saving it to a folder called images. And then from that, we're giving the path, so that way we can save this and retrieve this picture later. And then we're just creating the product. And here I'm hard coding this. We'll change that later. We might want to come up with a better naming process, but I think this is fine, just creating an ID for it. Okay, this looks pretty good on the server side. Now we have to actually, how do I send the picture to the server? Because now the server can retrieve it okay, but how do I send it, right? So to send it, we're going to be using Apollo Upload Client, and this is what Prisma recommends. So this is something we need to install on our React Native side, our React Native project. So I'm just going to start up my server before I switch over. And I'm just going to go ahead and yarn add and install Apollo Client. Alright, so on the front end now, I'm going to go over here, and we actually need to change what we're doing here. So we're just creating an Apollo client. Instead of using an Apollo client, we now use this upload link. And the reason for that is it needs to do a special thing. It can't just upload files itself. And I don't know what we need to pass to this. Looks like just a URI, and that's it. Now do I need to pass it? Now for this one, I need to pass it a cache. I don't know if we need to pass the cache to this. It doesn't mention anything about caching. Now, when it doesn't say anything, for example, a setting like this, what we can do is we can actually look at the package.json for this library and just see for ourselves. So we can look at dependencies. Okay, they have like no dependencies. Here are the peer dependencies. Doesn't look like they're even using cache. Alright, interesting. We'll see if we run into a problem later, or maybe I'm just missing something. But we're not seemingly passing an in-memory cache to this. We can also look at the code, but let's not worry about it. So instead of doing that, I'm going to just say create upload link. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I'm just being noob. We actually are creating a Apollo client, but instead of using an HTTP link, we are using this this guy. Alright, that makes more sense. So create upload link like that. So we're really just replacing the HTTP link. And oops. So that's good. I think we're ready to just create the mutation and we're good. We can go ahead and run it. I don't think there's any other options. We passed in the URI. We can go ahead and build it over here. So we're going to be running a mutation. Let's make sure we can see it over here. So refresh. Okay, so create product. So we're going to have three things from this: a name variable, name, which is a string, picture. Let's do price first, actually. Price, which is going to be a float, and a picture. And this is going to be upload. Yep. So we're going to call create product and just pass in our variables like we would any other mutation. Price, price, picture, picture. And I don't really need anything back. Let's just grab the ID for kicks. Make it pretty. And then over on our new product page now, we can say const create product mutation, and we can now use GraphQL, paste that in, oops, and we're getting that from GraphQL tag. And let's import GraphQL now so we can actually add it to our component. So GraphQL, pass in our mutation. Oops, we don't need to add an emoji. There we go. So now I should be able to add this, and we're just going to do it in our submit. So now our submit function, we're going to do some stuff. So back to Apollo upload link. To actually, we can't just like put the file in there. We need to create a React Native file. So when we're submitting, we'll create the picture. So I'm going to say const picture is equal to this .state.values.picture URL new React Native file. So that's going to be the location, and there's two other fields we need to supply: type and name. I don't really know the type of this. I'm just going to say image/png, and I don't know the name, so just going to say, and we're discarding the name of it too. So I'm just going to say name, or I am a name. There you go. Alright, so we have our picture. So now this, we don't want to just pass in the values like we were doing that. We want to get the name, and actually let's just destructure the state. So this is state.values, and then here I'm going to grab picture URL name price. So here we're going to use the picture URL, we're going to use the name, price, and picture. Oops, picture. So those are our variables that are expected. And yeah, let's just console.log the error and console.log the response. We're about to find out if this works. I think we connected everything we need to connect. I'm going to go ahead and open up the logs so we can see whether we get an error or response, what happens. So create a product. Name is going to be product 1. This is going to be $1. And let's pick our image. Choose it and add. Alright, so we get undefined, and we get cannot read property generate of undefined. No idea what this error is coming from, so my first intuition is check the server, see what the server says. Alright, so we can't product.typescript, can't read property generate of undefined. Alright, so we're calling generate on something then, which we can't call generate on. So I'm guessing it's process upload. One of these things is broken. I'm guessing it's like awaiting the upload. I kind of want to console, what I should have done is console.log picture so we can see what picture actually is. I think that's what it is. It says line 7 of 36. Yeah, let's console log this, and I'm going to move this statement up here. So I'm going to say const picture URL, and that way we can see console log picture URL. See if this is causing the problem. I imagine this is what we're getting the problem with. I can't see anything else causing a problem. Alright, so I'm going to run call add product again. I don't think it'll let me click it though, because set submitting we didn't change, so let's set submitting to false at the end. Also, I don't know, I'm assuming we got an error from that. Let's just console log. Oops, error happened. So we know we did get an error, or we didn't, because undefined, I don't know if the response is undefined or if the error is. I'm assuming we did get an error though, because it said error. Okay, so again, P1, price is $1. Add product. Okay, so it's a promise. So I think they are correctly awaiting it since it is a promise. So I'm guessing that for whatever reason, we're just not handling the product correctly here. Oops, not the product, the image I mean. So it's either our process upload or store upload, because now it does this line 36, which is this. Line 7, oh, that's the problem. Short ID is undefined. Okay, that's it. I was reading this wrong. This is the line number, not this one. So line number 7, this is generates undefined. Cannot read property generate of undefined. Okay, so short ID is undefined. So our images could be fine. I think it's just short ID is, for whatever reason, undefined. I'm guessing because it's TypeScript. Let's take a look. They were using it over here to add the short ID. Short ID.generate. And you know what? Let's just remove this for now. I'm going to comment him out. And I didn't know if I need to do curly braces around this. Oops, I didn't mean to click him. Okay. So to test, just to make sure this does indeed work, we can always come back and fix our ID generator later. Test dot, yep, we're just going to call him test. Alright, so that respond, add product. Okay, let's check images, because I saw some stuff that kind of looks successful. Looks like we had a problem creating it though. Nice. So our image doesn't let me display it because in this, but I think the image did go through. I don't think it likes it because of the ID of our user though. Okay, I think we got this working. I think I'm gonna end the video here, and then we'll just clean up all these errors and fix the rest of this and clean it up in the next video. Well, that's it for this. Thanks for watching, guys.